booktube. Sorry for my head being kind of chopped off here, but I wanted to get Tucker into the film, so I want to include him. So in order to include him in the picture, I had to like work it so that we're both relatively in the frame here. Yeah, because I really enjoy having him on here. He's such a sweet dog, and he actually, like I mentioned before, when I first had him on, I don't often sit on the floor, but he really likes me sitting here, keeping him company, because like I just have this little recliner here. I don't have a couch yet, because like I said, I recently moved, and so he can't sit up on the couch with me like he tended to do before, and cuddle up, and so yeah, because a little dog can sit up there, or a cat, but not him, and so yeah, it's nice to have some cuddle time with him. So yes, I'm here to do my weekly wrap up. I normally do them on Sundays, but I had a busy weekend. I was actually able to go to the BookTube Prize meetup, because it happened to be in Durham, Raleigh, Durham, where I just moved. And so I was able, it was really nice to actually meet booktubers in person. It's my first time doing that. And it was a really nice group of people that went. I think it was all total like 10 people came from all over America. And so yeah, it was so nice to meet up with them. And then on Saturday we went through the area and visited lots of independent bookstores. And so I'll have a haul later on with those books. And so I haven't visited any of the bookstores since I've been here. I've been so busy. Like I mentioned, I went to a library here, but I hadn't gone to any of the bookstores. So it was actually a really nice way for me to get to know the city a bit, and of course visit the local bookstores. And so I have a couple of favorites from our bookstore crawl that I for sure will be going back and visiting again. So yeah, I didn't read as much in the previous week, because 3 of those days were taken up with lots of BookTube fun. So the first one I read was Fredericka by Georgette Heyer. And this one I picked up because I had read Cotillion and Cotillion and The Grand Sophie by her. And so I wanted to continue on reading her, because she's really good. Oh, I have like cat hair or dog hair on my nose. She's really good at portraying female characters, and like even though they're set in like Regency time, she's really good at like showing them like they're very independent, and they're like the lead role. Even though it's like a romantic male guy, it's often the woman who is like showing all like the woman has the strength of character. And so in this one, it's following Fredericka, who is bringing her family to London because she wants to get them socialized. She's living in a small town, so she wants to bring them to London to like have them out. And her sister is like the real beauty of the group, and so she feels it's a shame. Oh, he's like laying here. She feels it's a shame that she's not getting the attention that she deserves, the sister. And so she takes her to London to kind of find like not a brilliant match, but a better match than she would in a small town. And but along the way, Fredericka actually forms a friendship with a male character that she wasn't exactly seeking out, but because she is kind of like resigned herself to spinsterhood, because she's kind of the matriarch of the family, because she is trying to, like I mentioned, set up the sister, and she's looking out for her brothers, and so she's kind of like the mother of the family, and so she doesn't really expect to have a relationship of her own, or find a brilliant match for herself. But yeah, it was a really nice Regency romance, and you can't go wrong with Georgette Heyer. She's very funny, and she does really good, like I said, female characters. And then I read, this was a library book, Fun Home, a family tragedy comic by Alison Bechdel. And this one I've seen on BookTube like a couple years ago. People were talking about this one, and I just hadn't picked it up in a comic book store. But when I went to the libraries, I was just perusing the shelves and getting the layout of the land. And this one I just happened upon, and although I recognize this from BookTube, and this is like Bechdel. I've heard of the Bechdel test, and it's all about how females are portrayed in literature and film. And it's like, if like two women or girls or females basically, if they're in a conversation, or is a man mentioned, or are they just having a conversation without boys or men being mentioned? And so she and her friend is like Watson or something with a W, created this test, and so people have gone on to expand on that test and just to see, how females are portrayed in the media. And so this is a kind of a memoir of her relationship with her dad, and also her coming to terms with her sexuality. And the art style is really good. It doesn't have colors; it's all this kind of like grayish blue tone, and it's all about her living in this like small town and how all of her family, and especially her dad's family, has lived there like their whole life. And she has a map of like her uncle lives here, her mom's family is here. It's like all this one little area, and so it's kind of like her breaking out and like finding herself, all the while like coming to terms with her father and his life choices, and how I don't want to spoil anything with the story, but he has like questioning his sexuality as well. Even though he's married to her mother, he still has a past that she doesn't find out about until later in life, and she's kind of like looking back on her childhood, and like now that she knows what's happening, and looking back and figure out, the clues were there all along, or what have you. This also mentions a lot of literary books, like a lot of classics like Henry James and so on. And so it has a lot of mentions of like those like of literature, because her father was an English teacher, and so he was like pushing literature on her. And so it was really nice to kind of like have like bookish talk amongst the tragedy of her family struggles. And then talk about tragedy, I reread for Victober Tess of the Durbervilles by Thomas Hardy. And this is one that I wasn't sure if I was gonna pick it up initially, because like I mentioned before, it wasn't a favorite. I think I read this for Victober 2 or 3 years ago, and it didn't really jive with me. But it's been a couple of years. I want to. I've read quite a few more Victorian literature since then, and so I wanted to give it a second try, especially since I really liked Far from the Madding Crowd, which I think I read last year. In between Tess of the Durbervilles, but they're really two different kinds of books. And in this one, it's following Tess, who she's in like a poor area, and so her mother and father really want to have her make a connection with this family line. They just recently found out that their last name is connected with this family, and so the mother and father kind of push her. She doesn't really want to go, but they push her to make a connection with this wealthier family to elevate themselves and have an opportunity for the daughter. And it all kind of goes downhill from there, because her cousin is not the nicest to her, and things happen to where she is kind of like guilt-ridden and feels like she's unworthy from that point on in her life. And so everything from her interaction with the cousin affects her whole entire life, and it doesn't have a happy ending. But I did enjoy it more. It's still not a favorite of mine, of Thomas Hardy's. That goes to Far from the Madding Crowd. But I am happy to give it a second go, because I did appreciate it more. I did get more from it, with kind of understanding her character more. And I will leave a link in the description below to Tilly's Shelf. I believe that's her channel name. She did a really good, like, in-depth review of Tess as a character. And so yeah, if you want to learn more about this book and Tess as a character, then yeah, that I can't say more than what she's already said. She did a fantastic video. So yes, I'll leave the link for that. And then I think that's all I've and then I read one more, and this is one I finished yesterday, and I was actually reading this with a bunch of booktubers. It was really nice. It was a Samhain. First of all, it was Samhain Secrets, but the first page of the book actually gives you a description of a dictionary definition of this word, and it's Samhain is the name, and it's a pagan like Wicca holiday, and this is part of the Wiccan Wheel mystery, and it's by Jennifer David Hess. And I read a couple of others of hers, but because this brought it to my attention, because I wanted to read Autumn Alibi that just came out like a week or so ago. But when I was looking through the other books in the series, this one has a really nice Halloween theme, and so I was like, I need to read this one first before I get to Autumn Alibi. So more like a Thanksgiving cover. But then it has a black cat, it has some pumpkins, it's in a graveyard. I mean, yeah, this screams October. And this is following Kelly, who she is a lawyer, and she keeps solving mysteries. It's a cozy mystery, and so it's set in a small town in Illinois, and it follows like the seasons. She's like a pagan Wicca, and it's so in the book she uses spells, she casts spells, and to help her solve the mystery. And in this one, her aunt goes missing, and she's never really had a good relationship with her. It's like kind of like an estranged aunt. She comes and goes, and she's never really like lived with them. And we live with the family. She's you never know where, she doesn't have a house. You never know where she's at. And so it's all about her to solve the mystery of like what happened to the aunt. Because she has to kind of like uncover what the aunt's life has been like. And so amongst her solving this mystery, you get like haunted house, and you have a corn maze and a pumpkin patch. And so yeah, it includes all the nice Halloween themed things along with the mystery. And it was really nice. And so this, I think I'm going to remember it, because there's certain books you remember where and when you read them. And so this one's always going to hopefully stand for me meeting up with the booktubers for the booktube frost. So yes, that one was nice. And so yeah, these are the books I read this week. Let me know if you read any of them, and I will see you soon. Thanks, booktube.